viewers, and welcome to another episode of Business Compass. New week, new issues to discuss and new challenges to look at. This week on Business Compass, we're going to be looking at the beauty and cosmetics and training industry. All three come together in one lovely business owner we have in the studio today. Business Compass is proudly created and produced by Fiducial Services Limited in collaboration with GHOne Tv. And in today's episode, we are looking at God's handiwork. We would go look at their video and then we'll come right back to you and to the studio and start the discussion.
My name is Feliciana Ayileyeboa. I am the CEO of God's Handiwork. God's Handiwork started, I'll say unofficially 6 years ago. It actually stemmed out from a personal problem I was encountering. And then I used to have bad acne, and then I tried all sorts of products on the market. The products we specialize in formulating here and training our products are bar soaps. We have the washing bar soaps, we have the bathing bar soaps, different types. Then we have liquid soaps as well. This formulated here. And then we have hand sanitizers and all that. And then we outsource raw materials for our clients. The issue with me having problem with the copyright and theft is that it took me about 8 years to formulate one product. Okay, so all the knowledge I have acquired over the period, I have the experience and the expertise to train you. As a beginner or an amateur, you are not at that level to impact, and then the standards of things that you have to train other people is not up to, so it's a bit of a challenge. I believe in networking, yes, so once I've gotten in touch with the panel at Business Compass with their expertise, the knowledge they have, the experience so far, there's going to be a rapport from there. I get familiar with them, they guide me. Meeting the panel on Business Compass, I would appreciate their help when it comes to accounting, how to sort out your administrative affairs of the company, how to go about your accounting affairs. Yes.
Welcome back, viewers. We went into the premises of God's Handiwork, and it's very fascinating, very colorful, beautiful place, and it's such a joy to have the founder or the proprietor of God's Handiwork in the studio. Now, welcome to Business Compass.
Thank you very much.
It's such a joy to have you here.
Same here too.
And with now, we also have a panel of experts. And today, we have Mrs. Petra Asamoah. Petra is a sales professional and the author of Sales 101 with a second book coming out soon. Welcome, Petra.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
And of course, we have Mrs. Mona Korte. Mona is a managing partner and founding director of BVM Advisory Services based in Accra. And she's a former Deputy Minister for Finance, and her expertise is really corporate finance. Welcome, Mona.
Thank you, Charlotte. Good to be here. Thank you.
So today is a very beautiful gender-balanced panel. I love it. So, now yours is a very interesting journey, and it's in an area that is, you know, it's an industry that is just exploding globally. It's really good to have you. Where do we start with you? So we know why you went into this. Since you started, what are some of the challenges you've been having?
Okay, so the very first challenge I've had over the years has to do with outsourcing ingredients for the product.
No, sourcing ingredients for
the product. Okay. Yeah.
Why is that a problem?
Yeah, when it comes to our local market, we don't have most of the ingredients we use is imported, and we only have few dealers that import the ingredients we use for production. So you come up, you research over years, and then there's a shortage of ingredients.
Like which ones?
It depends on the product you are formulating.
Okay. So say you're doing shampoo.
Shampoo. Okay, we have different types of solvents we use for shampoos. We have different types of essential oils we use.
Okay.
There are some available here, and then we don't have some. So it limits you in terms of producing for a client who says, I have this challenge, I want this. But then you research, do leverage on people who have clients who have issues, but yet you don't have the ingredient at hand. So you have all the knowledge on paper, but now to execute it, to produce it into a customized product, there's a challenge.
But I always thought that a lot of the products that we are seeing that are produced by Ghanaian manufacturers are using mostly local materials. That's what I thought. So for instance, when I see like liquid black soap or shea oil or cocoa butter, isn't that, what's the situation?
Okay.
Or you get, those are like the base products, you can get those, but the additives are what you can find here.
Exactly. When it comes to products, we have synthesized products, and then we have organics.
Okay.
So some of the products comes with both organic, and then you have to use the synthesized ingredients for it.
You mean like additives?
Additives,
the things that make it foam?
Exactly.
Okay.
But so when it comes to the organics, you can have some, I'll say 90% here. When it comes to black soap,
okay,
we have the ingredients fully for the black soap. We have everything for the base. But then when it comes to additives, somebody will say, I want a treatment for acne.
Okay.
I want...
so you need to add, say, like tea tree oil or something, and then you don't have that?
Exactly.
Okay, I get you. Okay.
So we have to depend on this importers too.
So and you say there are few importers. Okay.
Yes.
What other challenges do you have in the industry?
Okay, the other challenge has to do with packaging.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, packaging.
So, packaging. We have limited producers of the bottles in which we put.
Can you show us with what you have?
Okay. So something like this is quite presentable. Where you can have it on the shelves.
Is that your brand? Oh.
Yes, please.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much. But I didn't have this here. I didn't buy it. I imported it.
Okay.
So if you need something like this, it's quite a challenge to have it. To have such packaging containers here. Most of them are, it's just 1 or 2, 3 types that everybody is going out there.
Differentiation is difficult.
Exactly. And then same bottle, someone is probably using it for so many
shampoo, and you're using for hand sanitizer,
lotion, so you can't stand out when it comes to.
Okay. You also mentioned in the little documentary we had on you that you had challenges with keeping your books.
Yes.
Why is that? What's going on there?
Okay. When it comes to this business, I happen to...
You just started it, a passion.
Yes, exactly. So when it comes to accounting, bookkeeping, I didn't do business or accounting in SS nor tertiary. So I happen to jot some of the incomes that comes in. Yeah,
we've seen your turnover, which is quite strong. Very good. Yes,
yeah. So
do you write down your expenses as well, or just what comes in?
What comes in.
But you're not writing on what goes out?
What goes out.
Oh, good job.
No, not that's not a good job.
Okay. I think, let's start the discussion from the bookkeeping. I think that's fundamental. And the other issues she brought up as challenges I see more as opportunities, and I'm sure Mona sees it the same way. And it kind of ties in with everything she's doing. But so let's start with the bookkeeping, and then we come into the. Do you have challenges with sales, marketing as well?
Yes, a bit I do.
Yes. Okay. So we'll start with the finance, the bookkeeping, and then we go into your sales and your marketing, and then we'll come and look at your overall strategy and how we can tie it all together.
Oh.
Thank you, Charlotte, and now welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
We hope that you will be able to turn something around in your business from what we'll share with you. So I was just going through the limited numbers that you gave us. Basically, you told us about turnover history, which is also what you spoke to. So clearly, that's where your eye
focus
is.
here.
Okay, but in the accounting world, we always have a double. We're always trying to balance. So even as you're looking at revenue, you're also looking at expenses. Even when you're looking at assets, you're also looking at liabilities. We call that the T table, and we always want to balance. So remember that, and I'm sure in your business, in your science, you have your pH balance and so forth. In accounting too, we have our balancing act. So just remember that. However, you can get help for people to do this for you. But more importantly, you must understand what they're doing, and that's why today we'll take you through some of the details. Don't feel overwhelmed. It's just for you to get a flavor of it. You will build upon it with time. So looking at your 2018 to 2020 turnover, I see that 18 to 19 you almost doubled your turnover, and then to 20 you didn't quite double. It was like one and a half times.
But 20 is half year. Remember?
Well, 20 is a difficult year too.
No, but it's not even over, and she's exceeded 19.
And it's a difficult year too. So we'll see what will happen by
at the end,
year end. Yes, how that will go.
She's having a good year.
Yeah. The rate of growth is not bad at all. You are growing, and that for you is important. You want to see yourself grow as you invest in your business. I see that your business is geared at low cost as much as possible, even though you have those imported costs, but those are essentials, so you must do them. But I see you're working at low cost. You have just yourself and another employee. I'm not sure even if he's an employee or a helper. Your brother.
He is an employee.
You do pay him, and you pay yourself too.
Yes, please.
So 2 employees. That's keeping it low for the number of products that you're
the
putting
services,
out.
the range,
Exactly. So your costs are low on that side. Your costs in terms of things that you buy, whether local or from abroad, we don't know what that is. You haven't given us a good idea of what it costs you. So let's do an example quickly. This hand sanitizer, the blue one, per unit, and let's work in per unit. Is that okay?
Sure, that's
what would it cost you to produce this item?
It will cost approximately 15 cedis.
Okay. So it's about 15 cedis.
Hold up. Hold up. Would have to go on a break, and I think that the pricing issue is so critical that we would have to spend some time
to that.
When you say 15 cedis, how did you calculate your overheads? Do you know what we mean by overheads? Cost of your premises, transportation to get all your additives, salaries that you're paying to yourself and to your brother, your utility costs, or you're only calculating as in I bought materials worth 500 cedis and I produced so many bottles and per unit is this.
So Charlotte, we will discuss with her the different costs.
We have to go into how she got into the 15 cedis, because
costs.
It's really critical to also helping you do your books. So viewers, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'd really look into the issue of cost of production, because for a lot of small businesses it's a major issue. It's a genuine problem, and until you can figure out what your costs of production are, it is very difficult to even know whether the business is profitable.
You end up
mispricing, because you need to make sure that you're capturing all your costs. So we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll focus on the pricing and how we can help you do your books better with that knowledge. So we'll be back very soon.
With our new Always On bundles, you'll never run out of data in the middle of any important activity, no matter what. Choose from our Always On plans and enjoy true 4G LTE that never stops. Surfline, it's about time.
The exhibition of the voters register for the 2020 elections is
Central Commission of Ghana ke Glebe Odi Mambini Angla Megbe ya Amoshiki fun akuchi amni ayajen kona me akwe register here me keje 18th ke ashi 25 September dagi anyemi ka atashi ni o ka ke o ya gbon gbe iwo o gbe yo shiki fun owoji amni ke o voters ID card aya exhibition center bodinche koni oyakwe akekenkle ogbe ke ofunri ke o hesaji feyem ni pepepe bono ke halu kwamokoni osa totomoy niyo ogbe kenu loyo ni oji ye register amni kwamake agmo ogbe ojogba yo lonu noji afi aboni oyi ke ifunri ni hieche ni ajaje no fen no pepepe ye register hem lehendo ba fun shiki ye dano shiki fun be ase na agbe kra ke oye odase yeliko ye mboko nesa ke egbe yan wojiamli here bo isi to no isi eto gbajiano bona fe ni ocho mobile phone no kale o hesanji ni your voters register amli ewa kra oba text o voters ID number keya 1422 ye o network no yo no oba no gbe o police station ko constituency hu gbe bona fe no hihwehwehwemli ye voters exhibition ni fe mo namely hiwo isi bakwe ko ni gbajiano na amla lo eto fe ye covid-19 here akachu ni pepepe tamo face mask bu temperature kwemo minglemo ke hand sanitizing ye exhibition center sefen voters register minkwemo abajenshi 18th kashi 25 September afine da lebing black pawo ke ashin gbaji ekpa gbekena shime ho ke hogba hu fatahi anyemina no liake kajo gbe register he name onye vote isike 2020 voters register minkwemo ohebu he hialewa
participate in the exhibition of the voters register.
'Cause I'm the new best thing. I'm the new best thing. Better than you've ever seen. I'm the new best thing. I'm gonna be the king. I bring that ching ching ching. Yeah, I'm the new best thing. I'm the new best thing.
Discover new silky Guinness Smooth. Perfectly balanced for a smooth, refreshing taste. New Guinness Smooth.
Don't just watch, be wowed. Get fired up. Get down. Catch feels. Drop the mic. Choose to be moved. On the move. Hotspot, any spot. Enjoy a new view. Walking on other shoes. Power heels. Paws and feet. Take your stories to the streets. Food court with court queens. Ice queens and Yas queens. Fly away. Come back home. And enjoy online entertainment on any screen. Sign up at showmax.com and change the way you watch.
Pepsodent introduces charcoal and lemon essence. The unique combination of natural essences whitens teeth naturally for you and family because every smile matters.
Welcome back, viewers, and today on Business Compass we have God's Handiwork with us, and she's talking to us about the industry of cosmetics and beauty products. She trains people on how to make these, and she also makes some herself. So we're looking at challenges that are related to pricing. And so now you're telling us that the bottle of hand sanitizer you've made on the table, you would sell it at 15 cities. That's what you will sell it at. Yeah. So that means that the 15 cities has all your input and a profit.
Yes, please.
We want to find out if you're really pricing your products right. So I'm going to give you a piece of paper and a pencil, and let's work out all your input and how you arrived at 15 cities. Okay. So, pencil, stack of sheets. Please pass it on to her. Okay. So talk us through the inputs as you write them down.
First, we have ingredients.
A.
Okay. We have ingredient A, which is 2 Ghana cedis.
Okay.
ingredients B, C, D. In total making 9 cedis.
9 cedis, okay.
Yeah. So now we come to packaging the bottle.
Have you included the coloring and everything?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Everything is inclusive. So when it comes to
the container
itself, we have 1 CD 50 pesos for one. Okay. So this
were you producing? So what's the total?
So now we have 10 cedis 50 pesos.
10 cedis 50 pesos.
Okay. So transport.
Transport of what?
Transport of raw materials.
The cost of getting those materials to you. Okay.
Yeah. Transport, labor. Okay. So transport will cost 50 pesos.
Okay. Per unit, okay.
Per unit, yes. And then labor.
Labor will be what?
Labor is 1 CD 50 pesos.
What's your grand total so far?
So far we have 10 CD 50 pesos, so we have 12 cedis.
12 cedis, okay. So you figure that your profit is 3 cedis?
Yes.
Your profit is 3 cedis?
3 cedis.
Were you producing under a tree?
No, please.
I'm assuming you produce somewhere, even if it's in your kitchen.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Did you produce it in the darkness, or you needed power when you were producing?
Definitely, we use power.
You use power. So where's that cost in there?
It's out.
It's not there. Okay. Now it has free power and free premises.
Okay. Facility.
I like, you know the words, facility, yeah? Okay.
So that speaks to a lot of hidden costs that we don't pay attention to, but they are part of cost of production.
Okay.
Okay.
So what do you have now?
So that means I haven't considered the price and for facility, and then
no. So assuming you put some value to that
facility, I would say 50 pesos.
50 pesos. Okay. Yeah. Did you use water?
Yes, please.
Have you cost the water?
It's included in.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. So what's your total now?
So we have power will cost 1 CD.
Okay.
So we have 12 CDs 60 pesos.
So your profit will be 2 CDs.
Actually,
40
pesos. Correction. It's a margin. Not
her
a
margin.
profit.
Yes, her margin will be 2 CDs, 40 pesos.
Yeah, it's cost.
Mona, save us.
Okay, so now this is just to help you understand the accountant who will do your numbers for you. In terms of cost, we look at your direct cost, which is some of the things you told us in your exercise, the cost of producing this particular bottle of sanitizer. So those are direct costs. We also have indirect costs. So we refer to those things as overheads, general and administrative expenses. All these overheads, the way you will be able to turn them into a unit cost is that when you're finished at one production session and you know how many units you produced and you have now an idea of all your expenses that have gone out, you can divide to be able to determine your unit cost, because you can't realistically say I use 1 kilowatt of power for this or a gallon of water for you can't do that. So that indirect cost, once you finish with your production, you know the number of units and you also know the expense that has gone out. You can then divide and know your per unit cost. So knowing your cost, you now decide, as Charlotte was saying, what margin will I add in order to come up with a pricing that is suitable. The pricing, 1, has to be affordable. 2, must definitely cover your cost so that you break even. And then the third thing is, as an investor, because you have put money into either teaching students in the training or producing a product, you have to decide what kind of return do I want on this. Okay.
Let me break that down for you. So, what Mother is trying to tell you, okay, so you've put, let's say, 2,000 cedis into this. Before you put the 2,000 cedis into it, you need to decide, what do I want that 2,000 cedis to earn for me? Do I want it to earn me 200 cedis? Do I want it to earn me 500 cedis? That's your return on investment. Because, yes, you're passionate about it. Yes, you enjoy mixing up. I've watched you mixing up a whole batch and adding colors. But you still want it to be worth your while. It's an investment. So have you ever sat to think through what return you want on the investment?
Yes, I have.
And what was your answer to yourself?
For return has to do with one, it has to do with my client benefiting from it. That's first. And then secondly, 25%.
25%.
Yeah.
So if you take 1,000 cedis and you are going to mix a batch of hand sanitizer, no, let me leave the mixing, because your core work is actually training others.
Training.
So if you take 1,000 cedis and you put it into training, how do you make sure that you get 250 cedis out of it?
Okay.
How does that work out for you?
Well, first it depends on what the client is requesting to. So I look at the ingredients.
Okay, so now I've come, I want to learn how to make
training
shampoo and body lotion.
Okay, so first I factor in the intellectual property that I invested into the product.
That's your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's one. Then secondly has to do with the ingredients involved, the cost of the ingredients.
For the training?
Yes, please. And then my time as well during the training, I factor that as well. And then the next thing I do has to do with after consultancy. After training consultancy.
You factor all that into your costing?
Because after you train a client, it doesn't end there. Because the person is an amateur, the person keeps coming. You have to guide the person until the person also gets to the level that he or she wants to. So I factor all those into it.
Okay. Let me just ask, do you have any competitors in this training of soap and beauty product business?
Yes, okay. I would say I have few ones out there. Few.
Okay.
Yes.
And you know about them, you know what they are charging for the same service?
What they are charging and all that.
Is your pricing in any way comparative to what they are charging? Or is your pricing just a function of what you put into the training?
It's a function of what I put into the training.
Okay. But you need to map your competitors.
Okay.
Shouldn't you?
Yes. So I was going to ask that as you put together the pricing, all of the things that contribute to how you price, one of the things you have to consider is your competition. Because customers always have options. They can come to God's Handiwork, they can go to Charlotte's soap making business, they can come to Petra's. They always have options, including the option not to do the training at all. So you have to be conscious that there are options out there. And then another thing you also have to put into perspective is how do you want to position this business or this product of training? Because pricing is a strategy, and it tells on how your customer will perceive your business.
The value they are getting.
The value they are getting, yes. So you can decide that, okay, I want to price my business as a Rolex, how expensive a Rolex watch is, or a Rolls Royce, or I want to be a Tico. Okay, those are pricing strategies that give an impression and a feeling to customers. And
should I personalize this? Because I've gone through NAS training. So basically, if I'm coming to you and I say I want to learn how to make body oils or hair shampoo or whatever, what Petra is trying to say is that the pricing, it's a factor of the overall presentation.
The experience is part of the experience. Yes.
So take your regular schools. If you drive into Ashesi University, there's a sense that you get. If you drive into the University of Ghana, it's a different feel. If you drive into KNUST or Wisconsin University, it's a different feel. And all their pricing is different. They're all selling the same thing. They're selling knowledge. So when I come to God's Handiwork, what do I feel? So if you tell me you're going to charge me 5,000 cedis for a week of training, it's not, what you're selling is not just the knowledge that you think you're imparting. It is the effect that I feel when I leave there. Did I feel like I went to Harvard? There are other schools that offer the same courses as Harvard, but they are not pricing the same as Harvard. So if I know that, for instance, when I come to God's Handiwork, I'm going to, when I finish training, and I'm happy you mentioned after sales consultancy, I'm going to join an alumni of people who trained at God's Handiwork. And so if I'm having challenges sourcing materials, I can fall on that network to say that, where can I get? That is part of the pricing. But if you're going to just train me and toss me out and put me on the streets and I'm on my own, then I don't want to be paying premium. So you have to position your brand. Basically, that's what you're saying.
Yes, yes. And you have to be aware of these things, because that's how you communicate to your potential customers. If you're not empowered with this knowledge of, I'm giving you all of these benefits, not just calling it after sales consultancy, but the experience, the network. You mentioned in the video, you appreciate the network and the fact that you can come together with people. So all of those things are part of what you should price. So it gives you the confidence. If you want to charge an arm and a leg, it will give you the confidence to actually charge that way, because you know the value of what you're giving to them. But then the expectation of what you're offering must match the experience. So whilst you develop the experience in your head, it has to now come into fruition in real life. And one of the ways you can test that is by customer feedback. So after training, you want to be able to engage your customers.
She didn't ask me for my feedback. Well, actually, you did.
But I'm sure she was a happy customer.
She did.
So you want to ask for feedback, and you want to use that feedback to consistently improve the experience. And then the other side of it is you also want to ask for recommendations and referrals. Yes. So one of the best ways to market is by word of mouth. You can spend a lot of money on advertising, putting up billboards, but the value of word of mouth is much, much, much more now than ever before than just putting up an advert. Because if Auntie Charlotte tells me, oh, I went there and the experience was very good and I've used it for ABCD, or she puts it on her Instagram like she did, then you're getting so much more mileage than just putting up an advert. Not to say adverts are not good or they don't bring returns, but you have to also intentionally ask your customers for recommendations and referrals, even just their comments on how the experience was. You can do a short on your page, you can do short videos of the sessions and things like that, so that you keep the conversations going. So for me, I want you to think of pricing as the experience, as the positioning of your business, more than just the function of the ingredients you put into the production.
We've somehow managed to move from the pricing into strategy and marketing, but they're all connected, as you're finding out, and they're all really important. We'll take a break, but when we come back from the break, I think I'll still want to go back to the fundamentals of finance, bookkeeping. So now is the sole proprietorship, and I think that's actually great for where she is. How does a little sole proprietor who has a big vision and a really, really good market opportunity, how does she keep her little books before she now takes it to the big accountant? So viewers will take a break, and when we come back, we would go back into bookkeeping, and then we'll come back into strategy, because I think there's something we need to explore a bit more in terms of how where she should be focusing on, in terms of her
strategy with the tactical.
Yes, and even in terms of the range of services she's offering. I think slowly inching more towards the training than even the production. So we'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll look at bookkeeping.
Akoto loves his family. He works hard to take care of them. So Ifya, his young daughter, can become the doctor she's always dreamt of. And Akosia, his lovely wife, can open the nursery school she talks about all the time. He can see a happy, relaxed retirement in the years to come. But life can get in the way of our dreams. Unable to work, how do their dreams come to pass? Don't let life's tragedies get in the way of your family's dreams. Get a life insurance policy from Star Life today. Star Life, your solid partner for life.
يا ولد سأخبر أمك.
Attends que je le dise à ta mère.
So put a mask on, or else we'll tell your mom.
Can I rent a driver and feel bossy? Can I own a cab from minutes to hours? Can I get my wards picked up and dropped off to and from school? Can I get a cab within a reasonable time? Can I be picked up from my hotel to the airport? Can I get a cab for the sick or the disabled? Oh yes. How? CD Cab is your one-stop facility. At CD Cab, we have a driver rental service and a range of cabs for every business. Our fleet is comfortable, clean, safe and enjoyable. WhatsApp 0556 259 081 or download CD Cab app on Google Play Store or App Store. Locate CD Cab at C353/7 Olympic Road, Kokomemle, Accra. CD Cab, timely, safer, reliable and convenient.
For many years of serving the world with herbal and alternative medicine, a combination of homeopathy, naturopathy, reflexology and many more, we've been successful in treating many complicated conditions. We deliver excellent and effective services to people from all walks of life through scientific and traditional means using electronic pulse machine, serogen bed, circulation devices, physiotherapy, massage and many others. We have a well-equipped laboratory with advanced diagnostic and treatment devices to help detect your illness, so we know the right medications to be given.
I had a serious cough for 7 times. I sent my spec to South Africa for tests. Nothing was found. I came to Dr. Amin. Within 5 days, I was healed.
Our zeal and passion to save lives and outstanding years of achievement have won us several awards like the American Black History Honors, Master Practitioner of the Decade, amongst others. This is why we say, go herbal, go Amen. Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital. Allahu Shafi, God is the healer.
Mama, how can we fight germs?
We can fight the spread of germs by washing hands frequently with soap, like a geisha bar. Stay strong and wash long. Help prevent the spread of germs by hand washing with soap, like geisha.
Welcome back, viewers. We're still talking to the founder of God's Handiwork, and she's got a really nice business going on here, training people, producing cosmetics, and also sourcing materials for those who produce cosmetics. Now, we wanted to look at your bookkeeping because you mentioned that as an area of a challenge for you. Mona, help us. How do we help now have a simple system that works for recording, keeping her books before she now migrates to handing it over to an accountant? Yeah.
So now you heard from Petra about the strategy. Okay. Now we'll get into the tactical. How do we make that happen? Just tying it into your vision so that we don't lose sight of that. You did state that your vision was to raise entrepreneurs who would specialize in 1, 2 or 3 products that would benefit not only the Ghanaian market but Africa and the world at large. So a big market that you're sending out these people into. So training is your core business, so that we can really identify. Training is your core business, and then producing some of the products as the secondary thing, and also getting equipment and getting raw materials for these entrepreneurs that you have produced to also use. So you have a nice stream of income coming from all the other areas. When Charlotte talked about competition, you be careful not to compete with your students. So at any point in time during the after training consulting, you know where they are located, where they are working. You know, even with banks, the regulator makes sure that banks are not like next door to each other and doing the same thing.
And
there's always, exactly, pharmaceuticals, there's always a distance. So that sort of, so you can play the role of regulator there. Now, to talk about your books, yes, you can price with a premium, as Petra has spoken about, but let's talk about just your numbers there. To date, you have looked at what has come in, but you haven't looked at what's gone out. You need to start keeping all your receipts as a starter, just to start.
When you buy all those things, you order the additives and the cocoa butter and the shea butter,
yes,
you need to keep your
as mundane as that may sound, you must keep all your receipts. That is the way that you can sit down and reconcile and come out with how much you have spent. Here we are talking about just direct costs. How much have I spent on training people and so forth? Then you also keep on a monthly basis the bills that you get and what you pay. So what you pay for utilities, what you pay for rent, all those overheads, transport costs, they may come in daily too, but at the end of the month you look at how much it has cost you to run around, how much it has cost you to bring in products for the training classes and so forth. And then yourself, you now, who's a teacher, I'm assuming you are predominantly the teacher. Yes, so what has it cost you to be there and so forth?
You buy lunch while you're training.
Your time and all those things. So once you know your expenses, your bottom line expenses, both direct and indirect, then you know that, okay, this is what it cost me. When we start talking about pricing, you can look at a reasonable margin. You can look at you being a premium service provider in terms of training, you differentiating yourself from other schools. What is it that will make you different from the other schools, as Petra has spoken about? Why will we come to you? Is it your patience? Is it your ability to communicate well to students? So that comes to you and what you offer. But also, is it a building? Is it a comfortable place to be in? Is it air conditioned as against maybe just fans? Do you have the correct test tubes and equipment and all those things?
The one that you used to measure the pH level.
Yes. Oh,
the pipettes.
The pipettes. Yes. So that you have all those things. Students don't come and they say, oh, sorry, I don't have this, sorry, I don't have that. But that everything is available. You being able to stock and make things available, it's at a cost. So you look at all those costs. So overheads, the cost of you keeping up a certain premium look so that you can charge more, if that is what you're interested in.
And you have to document that and keep all the receipts. And on a weekly basis, you sit and you write down everything you spent.
Exactly.
Or you'll forget. And everything you received.
So over and above your costs, you also want to look at your risks. Okay, so you told us earlier some of your stuff is imported, so you look at exchange rate risk. You also mentioned that students would come to your premise, so you want to look at what happens, what kind of injury could occur whilst they are at your premise. Do you need to buy insurance to cover that injury or not? Perhaps it is something you can even handle immediately, therefore you don't need it. But you need to consider all of that. You also need to consider some students who may come one day and not come back and request a refund. So you must have some policy that covers you having to give back money to students. So there are many other little things that as the training business grows, you will start realizing the nuances and what comes in and what actually goes out.
Okay.
Once you know that, you are comfortable to start looking at the premiums above.
Okay, thank you, Mona. Now, I wanted us to look at your strategy. So now you're doing training, you source materials for people, and then you are also producing. And it's just you, really. Honestly, in terms of strategy, I would have preferred if you focused on the training and the sourcing. Because from what you've told us, that ties in with your original vision in the first place, ties in with where you want to go to. And also you mentioned that there were challenges in the industry with sourcing materials and very few importers. And because you are training people who are going out to manufacture, actually you have a relationship with them. That's a major strength. Capitalize on that strength and exploit the opportunity that it creates for you. So you are in between training people who become producers, who need materials, and you are the most likely person they can come to if they know that you are bringing in those materials. Now, the time and the energy you spend producing, I think if you deploy that into these two areas, it makes more sense for you and creates a stronger niche for you than the situation where the people you are training feel that they are actually going to come and be in competition with you. And that's a very crowded area. Yes,
so
it's a crowded space.
Strengthening your base.
Yes.
Of being a trainer.
Yes.
And an after training consultant.
And in terms of strategy, I was also thinking you've set up a manufacturing facility which you are using for training.
Okay.
When people come for training, you have all the mixers and everything there. So now, if you're training them to reduce, or to not to reduce, to make better use of your existing overheads, you could actually be producing for the people that you've trained at a cost, which keeps your equipment in use when you are not training.
Oh, okay, so Charlotte now uses the same equipment for training as for her production, or does she have a production line running somewhere else in the training school?
Or is the same place?
Is it one and the same?
It's the same facility, but it's divided in two.
Exactly. Same facility. So the overheads are already there.
Yes.
So rather than producing, you could be producing for others, and you charge them for the use of your space and your facilities, which still ties into your sourcing and your training, and creates an even stronger business for you than this Chinese wall you've created there in this division. I don't know, Petra, what do you think from a marketing angle?
Definitely, from a marketing angle, it makes a lot of sense for you to utilize the already installed capacity to make more money. And then I see that from the beginning of how you started the business, the idea was always to help people.
To empower.
To empower other people. So I think you should really keep that, because one of the things that makes products or services very successful is that connection to people's needs. If you don't consistently make that connection, you lose the essence of the business. So every time you've spoken about your business, you've always said, out of a personal problem, I solved the problem, I want to help other people do that. I think you shouldn't forget that and keep that in view. In the same way as you're developing the business into the future, for what Charlotte said about utilizing your existing capacity, that's a good way to make money without putting in too much, because you already have the installed capacity, the machines and everything are there. Plus, you can also position yourself as a one-stop shop for everything. So you're training them, you're giving them raw materials, and some of these raw materials, I'm sure they're trade secrets, so you don't want everybody to know where you get them from. So you can actually be like the main person,
giving them a production facility.
Exactly, and giving them a production facility. Plus, you can begin to customize. So you can go into all of the labeling and everything that you do. And I noticed in your profile that you support them with going through the FDA process.
Yes.
Now that can be quite tasking. So if you're providing that solution as well, it becomes a bouquet of different things that you can do, and you do well.
Nice sitting on a pile of money.
Yes,
and opportunities.
Actually, a very, very, very big pile of money. So think about it that way. And Charlotte said something about you not positioning yourself as a competitor to your students.
Who are your clients?
Who are your clients? I think that's very key, that you do a separation. And even if you want to go into some form of production, it should be clear.
Not in the same
spaces, because
under the same name. If she's producing for others, fine, but not in the same. Not under the same brand.
Yes, you have to make a very good distinction, because relationships thrive on trust, and if they feel that there's any sense of you might be getting into their space or doing, because you mentioned at some point that they're amateurs and you are the professional, but you want to train them to become professional. And you want to be proud of the students that you have. You want to be able to say, oh, I trained that person, I trained that person, I trained that person, they're doing excellently.
But I was just going to ask, in an industry where almost every product is unique and people feel a sense of attachment to what they are mixing and producing, I'm not sure your clients will be comfortable if you're also a producer. there's almost a sense that is she going to produce the same quality for me, or she'll make sure hers is better. That's the thing about competing, and I really don't think that is, in examining your business, that is your strongest point. I think you're actually doing damage to the brand rather than enhancing it. Meanwhile, if you focused on all these other areas we're talking about, you come out really strong there.
Stronger, yeah.
But then also, there are few that would not want to come for training. They don't want to go through the risks of you starting from the scratch, learning and setting up and all that. So they prefer you producing for them.
Even it's in the same line we're talking about.
So some people don't want to be certified. They just want you to produce for them,
and then they label it.
No, they want to be certified, as in by FDA. But they'll rather come to her.
Certified producers.
Yes, they'll rather come to her
as
with their brand and say, produce for me.
Yeah, but there's a difference between certification for training and certification for a product.
Yes. So they'll rather she outsource that to her, which is in line with what we're saying.
She has all the streams of income from both.
But the one stream that she seems to be focusing, it has the ability to damage the other streams. That's the worry.
A conflict of interest and all that.
So it's a bit of a murky situation where you're in the middle somewhere.
So decide where you are comfortable and stay in that, because you already have two lines of integration. One where you are actually also a supplier of resource to all of them. That is a clear business that doesn't create any conflict. So there's that integration.
But she loves the
training. They are your students. You also sell equipment and materials to them. Then the other one is where you are a teacher, but you keep your relationship with them. That is also another level of integration. And when they have developed something and they have their IP, you will respect that as well.
Yes. And it also puts you in a very unique position, because you are a key player in the industry. You're training them. You know what their challenges are. You have solutions to those challenges. So you become like really, really important in that space. Is this helping you at all?
It is.
Is it helping you clarify your vision? Okay, so having said that, where do you see yourself in the next 3 years? I wouldn't say 5, 3.
3 years. Well, I look forward to having more products to train, because there's occasions where people call and they want to produce this product, that product, but I haven't finished my research on it, so I haven't.
So you need more lines for training. Okay.
Yes, and then into an institutionalized building where a person coming from afar can even stay over, have all the facilities intact.
Think about collaborating. That's a lot of capital deployment.
Yeah. So
there are a lot of facilities that I'm sure they are using them Monday to Friday, and they are not using them weekends. So think around that. Huge capital deployment. You have to think through that carefully.
So now, listening to you and listening to the future that you have in mind, what I had thought of already, going through your information, and I think Charlotte has just hit that nail on the head, is that at some point you will need to collaborate. You will need to partner. Yeah. So for example, you are thinking of institution. It doesn't mean that you're going to build a school that will be high premium right away. You could start by joining an institution or a school that perhaps teaches something else, okay, and yours is complementary. So you are given slots within their curriculum, and therefore you
are getting in now?
Yes, yeah. You come in, you do that, and you get your money. You are recognized for that. That is your expertise. So you are working within that, because you have other things going for you.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you still have your research and development, which are passionate about, and you continue to do, and you shouldn't lose sight of that. So hourly lectures within an institution would be excellent for collaboration. The other collaboration will be collaborating with, for example, dermatologists, because it's about skin. Yeah. And they knowing that they can call on you when they tell you that, you know, I have this diagnosis, I'm looking for this kind of mixture that will do this for me, and you are there to provide that. So that collaboration too is great.
Mona, and I have to stop you guys. We need to go to our coach's corner, and get a message of motivation from the coach, and after that we'll come right back and we would continue.
This is Coach's Corner on Business Compass. I am Coach Bell. Today's tip is on business ethics. One of the world's wealthiest men, Warren Buffett, once said, and I quote, "It takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. If you think about that, you will do things differently." End of quote. Warren Buffett is making reference to having good business ethics. Business ethics are the principles, values, or beliefs that should guide your business practices. Business ethics are simply about knowing the difference between what is the right thing to do and what you have a right to do. Never forget that difference. Some business ethic principles include honesty, integrity, promise keeping and trustworthiness, loyalty, fairness, law-abiding, commitment to excellence, reputation and morale, accountability. Ensure that as you grow in business, so should your ethics quotient. Don't forget that business is about relationships, the relationship between you and your customers, you and your workers, and you and your money. Keep it a healthy relationship.
Thank you, Coach Bell, for your very motivating message. But viewers, if you have any business challenges, questions you want us to address for you, please send us a 1-minute video to our phone number 026-300-5055, and we'll be very happy to take a few minutes and address your question or your challenge. For now, before we do a 1-minute wrap-up from our panel of experts, I think we should give Na a special purpose vehicle. Na's issue is not with her customers. Strategy, there's a bit of strategy there, but I think the why.
Yeah.
Na sees the opportunities in the market and she keeps forgetting her why. Now, you need to remember why you started this. To solve a personal problem, to empower others. So remember that why, and it will keep you focused in terms of your strategy, making sure that you stay focused and you stay on track. So always remember your why.
Thank you very much.
It will help you.
Yes.
Petra,
well,
last words.
Very exciting business. I would just suggest that you begin to look at the future of where your industry is going.
Yeah.
So if you're paying attention to what's going on globally, there's a lot of conversation around using organic ingredients, using sustainable packaging. So begin to think about that. Also because it puts you at a place where you can begin to collaborate with international organizations and customers.
Even influence the local industry better.
Exactly. So begin to think about where's the industry going? What do I need to do to position myself as a world-class business, even from where you are? Because it's not too far away. You can actually be a world-class business in Ghana. Yeah. So just, I would say you put your mind to that, and as you continue to grow the business, continue to think about the why, because that for me is the key thing, how you started, why you started. So on those days where it becomes difficult, you always go back and draw strength from why you started.
So think global, act local.
Local, yes.
Okay. Mona.
Thank you, Charlotte. So now for me, it's the 3 collaborative parts. We've already talked about collaborating with educational institutions, with clinics, dermatologists, and then the third one is financial institutions. You do need capital to be able to grow your school, so do that. So those are the 3 legs for collaboration and being able to grow, in addition to everything that has been said to you today. So here I would just say stay true to your vision, stay true to your goal, and answer why, in that way.
So viewers, this has been Business Compass this week, and we had a very interesting episode with the founder of God's Handiwork, Mrs. Felicia Na Ajele Owusu-Sarkodie. And we also had our phenomenal panelists, Mona and Petra. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you to Fiducia Services Limited, creators of the show. Thank you to Coach Bell. Thank you to GHOne, our technical partners. And thank you, viewers, for joining us this week. We leave you with some tips. Please practice them. If you have any challenges, send us a message and we would respond. My name is Charlotte Osei, and it's been my pleasure hosting you on Business Compass. We are the GPS for your business. Goodbye.
It's been a learning experience so far, discovering some of the aspect of my business that I didn't know before, the opportunities that comes with the business. Today it was revealed to me through the panelists, so I'm very grateful to them. And also I felt so much at home. I thought it was going to be more of an interview, but I felt at home. I thought they were here to help me. Yeah. First has to do with sticking to the vision why I started this business, and then secondly has to do with pricing, the strategies, how I need to structure the business well to move it from the sole proprietorship level to a more corporate firm, and then how I can partner with other institutions to grow the business as well.